Yo, what's going, guys? This is jmoneyhs back again with another video, and today we have got a bunch of Hearthstone decks for you to try out to try and get up to Legend. These are, I believe, the best or most popular decks to come across in Standard right now at the moment. And before we get into anything, be sure to like and subscribe so that way you don't miss out on any Hearthstone or Dragon Ball content. And also, thank you all so much for the support on all the videos recently. It means a ton to me. I promise. But yeah. Anyways, let's start out with Handbuff Paladin. This is the deck that I got that got me up to Legend for June. For June last night, I played I went like 19-7. I played for about 3 hours, and yeah, there's a excavate version of Handbuff Paladin, but I mean this version is just way faster and in my opinion just better than the excavate version. I don't like the excavate version. Even though you can get the Kaleidosaur to get Wind Fury, I just don't like it, to be completely honest. But yeah, Handbuff Paladin, in my opinion, is going to be the best deck to climb with. The only two decks you got to really watch out for are going to be the next two I go over if you want to beat this deck. But yeah, you got Southsea Deckhands, you got Leroy's, you got Outfit Tailors that you buff with the Painter's Virtue. You go off for 1 turn OTK. And yeah, you can also get Zilliax to a bunch of attack. And if you go with the Drone Deconstructor, if you get a Stealth Spark Bot on there with that Zilliax, oh boy, you're gonna be feeling mighty fine with that. And you also got some card draw with Gold Panner to draw cards. You got Instrument Tech to draw the Painter's Virtues, and you've also got Magatha and Astral Serpent. I like Astral Serpent. It's a pretty good draw card because you immediately draw 2 at the end of the turn, so I think that's pretty good. But yeah, mulligan-wise, you want to get Drone Deconstructor, you want to get your Instrument Tech. Sometimes you want to get Muscletron, but sometimes it can depend. Gold Painter's good. Magatha can be good, but just a warning, it can take a while for you to play it. So I don't know, but either way, Handbuff Paladin I think is the best deck to climb with. But if you want to beat that deck, try the Flood Paladin. Try Flood Paladin. It is still good even with the Showdown nerf to 3 mana. Because if your opponent is Handbuff Paladin, you just go in with things like Showdown, Zilliax, and Sea Giant in 1 turn. That happened to me like 3 times. I shit you not. When I was going up to on my Legend climb last night. It was rough. I was not able to get a game off against Flood Paladin, if I'm being completely honest, because they just swarmed the board. You got things like Mining Casualties, Muster for Battle, Showdown. I said that before. Boogie Down, Flash Sale to get like a bunch of minions on the board early, and then you just stick a Zilliax behind a Showdown as well as a Sea Giant or 2. And it's just game over at that point, man. I mean, like, Flood Paladin is just insane against Handbuff Paladin. So, if you want easy games against Handbuff Paladin, Flood Paladin's your way to go, man. But if you don't feel like playing Flood Paladin, there is Combo Druid. So, yeah, you've got Puppet Master Dorian still doing broken things in Standard and Wild. But let's just focus on the Standard part of things for now. Yeah, you just played Puppet Master Dorian. You play Summer Flower Child. You try and get Doomkin or ENR. And so that way you can get 1 mana copies of those for 1 mana 1/1 copies of those. So that way you can steal a bunch of mana with Doomkins, and then also get a bunch of mana cheat with ENR. And yeah, there's just not a lot else to say about it. You got Marin in here, Marin the manager. So you could get a 1 mana 1/1 copy of Marin. That'll be pretty fun. I haven't tried this list, to be completely honest, but I might. Yeah, you could also get Trog Gem Tossers somehow if you just... You'd have to, like, draw into it, though. Like, raw with the Dorian, because there's not a lot of draw minion-wise. You have draw for dragons with things like Take to the Skies. You have a spell draw with Chia Drake. But yeah, not a lot of like raw draw, if I'm being honest. But yeah, off of the Marin, you can get like 0 mana Ziliac, 0 mana Yogg, you know, things of that nature. But basically, you just try and get as high mana as you can, steal all your opponent's mana with the Doomkins, and you know, try and overwhelm your opponent, which is pretty easy to do if I'm being completely honest. Next up, we've got Pain Warlock, which apparently is still seeing play. I thought it was going to fall off once Celestial Projectionist got nerfed to 3 mana, but it is still tier 1 on HS Replay, man. It is 55% win rate over the last week. You know, 54 over the past 3 days, but hey, that's still really fucking good. Yeah, I thought the Celestial Projectionist nerf was gonna like be pretty bad for it, but you know, I mean, it doesn't matter when because like I guess the go off turns are like much later when you have the mana to play 2 Celestial Projectionists typically. But yeah, it's still very much the same as it was before. Just try and hurt yourself as much as possible. Get out 0 mana Imprisoned Horrors, 0 mana Molten Giants, put a Ziliax behind somewhere, and you know, try and keep yourself alive with Infernal. Try and get extra 0 mana stuff with Celestial Projectionist, and hope your opponent doesn't have a lot of damage in hand. I mean, that's basically the only negative I can say against this deck is that if your opponent has a little bit of damage in hand, you're just dead. But besides that, you don't even have, for some reason, they don't run Popgar in here for for a little bit of extra health. I don't know why, but hey, you know, it is what it is. You have Leroy in here to get a little bit of extra burst. You have Sheriff Barrel Brim in case there's like a big minion in your way. But yeah, this is the best performing Warlock deck, but it's not the most popular, oddly enough. We'll get to that later on in the video. But yeah, Pain Warlock still really good, even with the Celestial Projectionist nerf, which I am shocked by, to be completely honest. And then we have Window Shopper Demon Hunter. Yeah, it's still doing really good ever since the meta has calmed down a lot and been nerfed a lot the past couple of patches. Yeah, Frequency Oscillator to try and get the Ziliax is a low-key really good thing to do with this deck. That's probably like your second win condition, if not behind the Umpire's Grasp into the Window Shopper to try and get Magtheridons. You also have Sock Puppet Slither Spear, which is really good early on because once you just get your hero's attack up really good with things like Burning Heart, it's over for your opponent. But yeah, overall, pretty good things out of this deck, if I'm being completely honest. But yeah, it's something you could definitely run that won't be broken, but you know, it could be pretty fun seeing what demons you can get. There's like a couple of lifesteal ones, like the Umbral Horror, I think, the fucking 610. That yeah, mythical terror. I don't know why I was thinking Umbral Horror. What is that? I know I've seen that card though. I don't know. We'll I'll look at it later. But anyways, Yeah, you also have Kane Sun Fury in there to get a little bit of charge and ignore any taunts that are in your way. So that is good. You can draw your Umpire's Grasp with Instrument Tech, and if you go second, you can play it on 3. So I'm just saying that is a pretty good advantage to be going second in that list. So, something you can do. And then we have Reno Hunter, which not being very popular, but it still has a 54% win rate over the last week on HS Replay, so that's pretty good. You have your Awakening Tremors is back in the list. I think it's always been in the list still. I don't know. There was like one list where it wasn't in there because something got nerfed. I think it was the Tremors. I think it was when the Tremors got nerfed or something. I don't know, but I forget. But anyways, Costume Singer, good way to pull out bait and switch, hidden meaning, things of that nature. You have things like Sneaky Snakes, which is probably the best one drop in this list, if I'm being completely honest. Thornmantle Musician, I almost called him Magician. Theldurin, and then you also got your big boys. You got your Tyrannosaurus, you got your Thunderbringer, you got King Plush, you have Hollowhound, you have Mr. Mukla that you can summon back with the Stranglethorn Heart. You also have Reno, obviously, and then you have Yogg-Saron in here because sometimes if you go up against a Handbuff Paladin, like this could be really handy for the for the Induce Insanity ability to have each of their minions attack each other. Because I have lost to a lot whenever Yogg has done that. And then we have Ziliax still in here with the Virus module and the Perfect module. It's still really good, if I'm being completely honest. But yeah, not much to say about it. It's been a very quiet meta player, honestly, for the entirety of Whizbang's Workshop. And then we have this is the most popular version of any Warlock deck out there. It is Insanity Warlock. Yeah, surprisingly, this is the most popular. I don't even know why. I guess maybe because it beats Reno Warrior. I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, you have your typical still things in here like Baritone Imp. You have Encroaching Insanity. You have Fizzle to get more Encroaching Insanities and stuff like that. You have Void Virtuoso, so that way you don't take any damage. You have Popgar in here, Symphony of Sins. You have Trolley Problem, Trog Gem Tosser. Those are like some of the best cards to get. Popgar Crescendo does amazing against big boards, and it also heals you a bunch. So, pretty good there. You also have Sargeras in here, which weird inclusion in my opinion, but I dig it. If games go long, typically this deck just loses. But maybe with Sargeras with the extra 3/2 extra 3/2s, and if you buff them up with Taunt, maybe that could be the difference maker, And you also have Trolley Problem in here. I don't know if I said about Trolley Problem or not, but either way. And then next we have Rainbow Plague Death Knight, which has been very popular. I came across it like 6 times on my Climb to Legend last night. I won all of them. I went 6-0 against Death Knight because not a lot Death Knight can do against Handbuff Paladin, honestly. But, you have Primus in here, you have Yogg, you have Ziliax, you have Reska in here, you have your Excavations to try and get the Azurite Rat, and get another Reska into your summoned with Lifesteal and extra Death Rattles. Plucky Paintfin can draw your Burrowbuster and your Reska. You have Marin in here, so that'll be pretty cool. Maybe you can get 0 mana Primus, 0 mana 0 mana Yogg, 0 mana Ziliax, and stuff like that. Headless Horseman, once you get that head, pause. Yeah, you have Headless Horseman in here. Once you draw the Headless Horseman's head, you know, you can get a lot of extra undeads summoned and everything. Rainbow Seamstress, pretty good early on. Toy Snatching Geist, I got absolutely destroyed by a Toy Snatching Geist last night. Because he immediately got Dr. Stitch and but somehow I was able to pull out the win there. I don't know. If I'm going to be completely honest, I don't know how the fuck I won that game last night, but you know what? I will take it. And then you also have Runes of Darkness to try and get things like the Quartzite Crusher. You have Helia in here as well as your... I thought there were more plague stuff. I thought there was the sync with the ship. Huh. But yeah, you can also go Runes of Darkness to try and get the Staff of the Primus. That'll be really good to get. Shuffle more plagues into the opponent's deck. But yeah, it's mostly about excavation and everything like that. So try and get as many rats as you can. But yeah, pretty decent, all right. But it loses a lot to Handbuff Paladin. And then we got the deck I covered most recently in a video, which is Even Warlock. Still really good. I need to change the Ziliax though, because it is odd. I don't want Gen changing around on there. We'll take out the virus module, put in ticking module. Yeah, there we go. Fixed it up real nice and good. But yeah, you have Mountain Giant in here. You have Dark Alley Pact. You get an extra thing with Rush with Forge of Wills. End game summons the demon that dies from Dark Alley Pact. That's the main target for it. Sunspot Dragon. Underrated card in this list, if I'm being completely honest. Because like that lifesteal comes in handy once you're like real low and the game is late, and plus it's 6 damage, so you know that can go face, you know. But yeah, you also have Popgar in here with Crescendo. It is really good AoE damage. You also have Table Flip in here, again, really good AoE damage. That can deal with pretty aggressive decks to start out. But you also have Cheryl Barrelbram in case there's like an annoying minion or something like that. Wing Welding. If you discard Molten Giant, deal 22 to everything, so nothing will survive the Wing Welding. But yeah, pretty good list. I still enjoy it. I still play it from time to time. I did most of my climbing with this deck last month, so you know, I credit a lot of my getting up to legend to this deck. And also go check out the Even Warlock video if you haven't already. There will be a card up in the top right of the screen there. Alright, and then lastly we have Reno Warrior. It's nowhere near as good as it used to be with the Reno nerf here, but I mean, like, it can still go off sometimes, but a lot of times it just does not. It just doesn't survive long enough to get its big stuff out anymore with Handbuff Paladin and the combo Druid especially, because your mana's getting stolen, so you can't even get out your Bran at least. Yeah, if you come across those matchups, it's gonna be rough. But if you come across anything else, yeah, I think you can pull out the win most nine times out of 10. If I'm being completely honest, I have Marin in the ETC for this list. I think that with Bran is just like really fun. So you know, it's a pretty good fun inclusion. But with that being said, not much else to say about Reno Warrior. I've already said plenty about Reno Warrior in the past, and also in the video where I covered it. Which, yeah, that even though that list is a little bit outdated because it was before not only the Reno nerf, but it was before the Marin came out. So the deck is a little bit different, but, you know, it still plays the same, if we're being completely honest. But anyways, yeah, that is the best decks in the meta right now. Gave you a couple of good options. Gave you 10, so that way you have a little bit of variety. But yeah, hands down, Handbuff Paladin has to be the best deck to climb with, if I'm being completely honest. Yeah, you just buff your hand a lot, and then you just go face in one turn with all your charge minions. There is nothing your opponent can do, if we're being completely honest. But yeah, anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe, and I will catch you all in the next video. Take it easy.